Avnish Sule built Jessamora, a handcrafted decor brand that blends art, ambition, and awareness. Welcome to the Spark series of Creative Bharat, where we bring you stories of the India's youngest innovators, creators who are shaping the future one idea at a time. Today's episode features a young visionary, Avnish Sule, the founder of Jessamora, a handcrafted decor brand that uses Jesmonite, a sustainable eco-friendly material, to create beautiful and functional pieces for home and bathroom spaces. At an age when most of us are discovering our interest, Avnish is already building a brand rooted in design thinking, mindfulness, and environmental consciousness. His journey beautifully reflects the spirit of Gen Z, intelligent, emotionally aware, and compassion driven. Avnish, tell us about Jessamora. How did you conceptualize it? What was the passion behind your venture? Where did the story begin?
It's kind of a funny story actually, because so when we were starting off with our entrepreneurship business projects last year, the first idea that came to my mind was about a pet walking service business. And once I laid out all the feasibilities and everything, it was just not matching. So I had scrapped that idea. And then I think I was going to go over and join my friend's business, because at that point I wasn't really thinking of what I wanted to do. And I was just sort of thinking about marks and project and everything. So I'm going to join my best friend's idea. But I went up to Sanita, my teacher, and she told me I will not be doing that. She forbid me from joining my friend's business just because I had nothing to do. She was like, I believe in you. You will find something and you will do it. And by that time, I was really scared, because now a couple months had passed and all of my peers, they had already, finished their business ideas. They had drafted up their ventures and synopsis and everything. And I was just still stuck. Right. So, but by fate, I met one of my friends in the class itself who also did not have anything to do. His name is Ian Shait. He is my business partner. And we got to talking and everything. And then he said, you know what, let's join forces. Let's do this together. And I went to his house. We started brainstorming and everything. And then he mentioned that his mom she creates Jesmonite products for a hobby. And now I had never heard of this Jesmonite products thing before. So I was like, what's that? Right. And so apparently, Jesmonite is an eco-friendly material which uses a water base as a substance. And it creates, trays and resins and bases to mold different things. So I was like, that sounds like a good idea. We could do something with that. Right. So we talked to his mom. We looked at all the products. We laid them out. And we were like, we're going to do this. We're going to make Jesmonite products for people. And that's how the idea came into be. And then we started working on it.
Very nice beginning of the story. And what's the story behind the brand name?
Okay, so it's kind of silly. So in our generation right now, aura is a sort of a slang word for something that has a lot of positive vibes to it, or something that is really cool. So whenever we want to say something is really attractive in nature, we're like, that thing has aura to it. So since our products we envisioned would bring a sort of a positive vibe and an ambience to a person's home, to our customers' homes, we thought, why not name it like a play of words, Jessamora.
So aura is a very old word.
But we use it very informally nowadays. It's just like a slang. Oh, this is very aura types, like that.
Starting an entrepreneurship, where did the inspiration come from?
This thought was, it wasn't really my original thought. I had never actually thought of being an entrepreneur. But this inspiration comes from my father, who is a businessman, true entrepreneur. And he has really inspired me to take on this path, because when he started his own venture, he showed me what the life of an entrepreneur can be like. The quick thinking, the problem solving, the complexities that come with this life, it fascinated me. So I decided that I don't want to, in my future, I don't want to do this 9-to-5 job thing. I will be starting my own firm in the psychology field that I'm going into. And that's why I fixed myself on this fact that I will be taking entrepreneurship in school. But got to know that in this school, Orchid School, that there's this subject known as entrepreneurship, which was really surprising to me because I come from a sort of conservative school background where we literally have these subjects. So when I came here, I was like, oh, this exists. And my dad found it. My parents were like, yes, you're taking this subject. This is an amazing opportunity that the school is giving you. And we're like, done. Took this subject. And that's where I was like, I'm going to run my own business now.
Very nice. I noticed every product wears a personality. How do you balance aesthetic designs with everyday utility?
That's luckily the beauty of Jasmonite products. So on both the fronts, either the aestheticness of it or the durable quality of it, you don't have to compromise on either aspect of Jasmonite. It gives us both simultaneous. And as for the personality that you mentioned, we love that word because each of our products is unique. No product is the same. So every time we make a product according to what the customer wants, they come out completely different with their own personality and their own individuality. And we love that about our products. So yeah.
Nice. And what challenges did you face while working with Jasmonite? It's not a common material.
So I think the major problem we faced was advertising Jasmonite because most of our peers, most of the people who was our target audience, adults as well, we had to constantly explain to them what Jasmonite was. We had to constantly tell them how it works, how it's made. Because if people are going to be buying something from you, they need to know where it is sourced from, right? So I think the biggest challenge was constantly exhaustively explaining the process of making Jasmonite products and as well as the availability of these Jasmonite products because we order from jasmonite.com, which is the official website. And it takes a little while to like 3 to 4 business days for the products to come, the Jasmonite powder and the Jasmonite liquid. So if we do run out of it when we need an emergency stock, that is a problem. Sometime we need to wait. And maybe 1 or 2 orders might get delayed because of the late delivery of the products.
Nice. Tell me about the process from idea to finished pieces. Do you plan, experiment, or just follow your imagination?
At the beginning, it was mostly experimentation. But now we sort of mainly use our imagination because we can create everything. It's mold. So we can mold it the way we want, right? And in the beginning of our venture, we really didn't know how to do this because the Jasmonite powder and the Jasmonite liquid, you have to mix it in certain proportions and ratios. There's mathematical calculations for it. And only then can you achieve the desired consistency. If you are even a little bit up north, then the consistency will get totally messed up. So at first, the 3 or 4 products came out a little bit weird. They were disfigured. But as we figured it out, we knew how to do this. And then we started using our imagination. We were like, oh, we use this color here. We maximize this color's efficiency, mix this, and make this design. Maybe we'll give people the option of which one they want. And then we can play around with that sort of. So yeah, now we mostly use our imagination.
Wow, very insightful. How did you learn this?
So originally this was my friend's mother's idea, right? This is her hobby. So she sort of told us what everything is. She introduced us to the concept of this and she told us how to get started. But then she was also going to teach us the entire process of it. But we told her that no, let's not do that. Let us try to figure it out because if we're going to be entrepreneurs, then this is something that we need to know how to do ourselves. And we need to be ready for any challenges that come our way, right? So we were like, let us try ourselves. We'll figure it out. And we did.
Interesting. What are your most popular products and what emotions or mood do they bring into people's homes?
I think our most popular products are 2 types. The one is for the large tray, which is our most expensive product, and the hexagon coasters with uplifted borders. So the hexagon coaster with uplifted borders specifically, they are the most popular. They have sold out the most and people use them for multiple things. People keep candles in them. People keep their jewelry in it. That was a very popular demand that people were asking for. We want to take off our rigs out, whether they keep it in things like this. So they use it for that. They use it for even small photo frames or anything just for aesthetic appeal on their countertops, their dining tables or even their halls. So that's our most popular. And I think the vibe it brings is a sort of fun vibe because it is more of or targeted towards our younger audiences who prefer aesthetic appeals like this. And the large trays, they have a sort of elegant, warm vibe to it because have we seen the trend that most of our adult customers buy those things? And they use for multiple things, like keeping their shampoos, their conditioners, bathroom accessories, to even display their artwork or their photo frames or anything they want in their halls, and like for guests to see.
Now coming to the most important question. Gen Z entrepreneurs are very conscious about planet, the product, and the purpose. So what does sustainability mean to you as a young founder?
Sustainability is of the utmost importance to us, especially at Gen Z, as you said. We're more aware of everything because of social media. And I feel as though sustainability is very central to our product Jasmora, especially because these resin, these molds, when they are produced in large manufacturings, they are used with solvents, right? So when these solvents are being made, when they are being churned, they release certain harmful gases into the environment, which is really, really bad, right? So Jasmine especially has a water base, as I mentioned. So it is completely organic and it releases no fumes or anything harmful to either the person or the environment while it is being made. So that really helps. And secondly, we also use eco-friendly packaging like newspapers. We design newspapers aesthetically, maybe paint on them or write on them, whatever the customers want. We wrap it up and we give it to them like that. So I think I would say we try to reduce our imprint on the environment as much as we can with these products.
Awesome. Having been born in social media era, how do you use it?
Personally, all business is business wise. Social media, I think we use mainly as a marketing tool because on our social media page, we have around 100 followers and we mainly make deals or we make aesthetic posts to showcase and advertise our products. We write descriptions and everything. And sometimes, but orders come in, we show the making process as well. So we take time lapses and slow motion videos of the products being made, and we post those on our stories and sort of show people how your products are coming along, which people really like. And occasionally on social media stories, we put up polls and give the customers an option of what you want to see next, and like that we go ahead.
Is there any way Gen Z entrepreneurs are different from earlier generation?
I think Gen Z entrepreneurs are willing to go the extra mile in terms of being aware of their environment, of their actions and sustainability, as you mentioned before. Because older generations they are aware of one of this, their repercussions, but they may not be willing to go the extra mile to actually secure their products in that way, to make their products in that way. And I feel like our generation does a good job of doing this.
Now tell me about your family. What was their reaction to your desire to becoming an entrepreneur, and what advice did they give you?
My family has been completely supportive of everything I've done my entire life. I think everything that I've taken up in my life, my parents have been the first people to back me in everything that I do. So when we came to the school and my parents saw entrepreneurship as a subject, from that moment onwards, my parents started, planning with me what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it. My dad taught me some logistics of being an entrepreneur, and I derive a lot of values from them, like resilience, most importantly. So they have complete supported me throughout all of us.
So what's next for your entity?
We are going to be we haven't thought of the ideas yet, but we're going to be releasing new designs, and we're going to be putting up polls both like in a survey questionnaire and on our social media for the customers to tell us what they want, because one of the informal surveys I conducted resulted in heart-shaped looks. So our audiences want on uplifted platform heart-shaped molds to keep their jewelry and even more aestheticize their hopes. So just like that, we will be giving them more options, and we possibly, if this goes well, we possibly might think of expanding into larger territory by using machines. But that is a sort of a dicey area because we take pride in making our products handmade, right? So let's see if we experiment with technology or not in the next 5 years.
Good. What message would you like to give to young innovators who probably are debating or may be scared to take the first step?
To all the young entrepreneurs today, I just have one thing to say: just start. You will spend hours, days, months just overanalyzing and overthinking about what is going to happen. You will try to deal with every obstacle that might be, but that's not how it works. Just start. You would deal with them as they come. But starting a business yourself, even at this age, is the bravest thing and the best thing that you can do for yourself.
Wonderful, wonderful. Avnish, your story is a wonderful example of how innovation and art can come from the most unexpected places, like the school desk. Thank you for inspiring us with your creativity and compassion. The world definitely needs more makers like you. We at Creative Bharat wish you good luck, and we hope to meet you again when you have crossed more milestones with your business entity. Thank you so much for giving us your time.